Okay, we're trying again, guys. This is round 3 on the one loss side of the post-up tournament series. Session number 2. Hopefully we have some people here waiting already. I'm going to give everyone a chance to get in the stream before we start talking. I did just send out links to everybody, directly to everybody's cell phone, so hopefully everybody watches this. I need to cover some really important stuff, so that's going to be coming up in about 2 or 3 minutes. Sorry, my speakers are going nuts. I need to buy new speakers. Love this freaking song, dude. So when this song is over, I'll start going over all of it. That way everyone has a chance here. I'm going to put the chat. Oh, that's right. I got to get a YouTube chat over here. Let's do it like this. Pop out the chat. Bring it over here. Make it smaller.
Shannon.
Go like this. Go like this.
Rants. Edie? What's going on, Edie?
Where's my chat?
Josh Holder.
There it is.
No, John. No, we don't.
Okay. Don't these people have jobs? Yeah. Yikes. All right. Like I said, at the end of the song, we'll go over some important stuff. I'm actually going to mute the mic and talk to Grubbs to see if I've got my thoughts organized correctly. So I'll be right back. You guys can just jam some music, maybe watch Alex Laley play a little One Pocket, and same with Jonathan not Jonathan Jackson. Action. This is, in my opinion, the real Action Jackson. Jackson Zhang, right there in the foreground. All right, I'll be right back, guys. Just gonna mute the mic for a second. Okay, we're back. Okay, so just to keep everybody filled in on where we're at, this is the Post-Up Tournament Series. It's an event that we do as a community, where it's like a bigger buy-in event that players have 2 weeks to complete each round. This round is actually going to be a shorter round for the one-loss side, so the final round on the one-loss side is 10 days instead of 2 weeks. That way we can stay on schedule, but you'll learn very soon. We're actually probably gonna have a little bit of flexibility there, so we will talk about that in just a minute. Let me get the draw stuff up on screen.
What up, Brandon? Thanks for losing in the Elk Grove tournament. I got lucky to take it down.
Okay, let's do it. Let's go over it. So first things first, guys. I need to apologize to all the players. I overlooked something in scheduling while we were going over the potential dates, and I think that when I texted Oscar, it just kind of spaced as well in his mind. I'm sure that's what happened, but because it was early April or mid-April that we were talking about this. But I had already received dates from Robert Aldana and Oscar like a week and a half prior that the Britt Aldana Memorial, and you've seen it announced on Facebook, the Britt Aldana Memorial is taking place on the 28th of June at Hard Times here in the back room. So the elephant in the room is that was our date to do the finals for this tournament. So normally I'd say it's not that big of a deal. Maybe we could just move it back 1 week. But unfortunately, if we take a look at the calendar here, I'm going to move the chat. So this was the finals right here on the 28th. Let me actually put this up over here. Let's do it like this. Hold on a sec, guys. Sorry, I'm going to make this look nicer for everybody. So that way we can have the chat up as well. And then I'm going to do this. Full screen projector.
Yeah, I did, Brandon. I get lucky.
Okay, so if this is the 28th for the finals, unfortunately, I am leaving for Quincy on the 4th. And I'll be gone this entire week, and I won't be back until one of these 2 days. So unfortunately, what that means is the next soonest date is the 19th of July. And I know that that's going to be frustrating for some people. For those of you that it doesn't make a big difference to, I really appreciate your flexibility. But I don't have a better solution. I've looked at potentially like trying to rush and do it on the, you know, like this date here on the 21st, but I just don't think that's feasible. There's also potentially an event that I might be involved with on that date, so I need to leave it open, like a pool event. It's like a streaming event, so I need to leave that open in case it does in fact happen, which might happen one of these 2 Saturdays if it does happen. But anyway, I can't give you more details about that until it's confirmed. So yeah, we're stuck doing the finals for this event on the 19th of July. So if you had requested off work this day in case you had gotten that far in the tournament, you do need to go to work and let them know that that date has changed and see if they can change that for you. If you're very, very frustrated with me, please feel free to text me directly and unload on me. I'll try to do the best that I can to accommodate whatever needs to be done. But that, I mean, I can't really change. I can't do it any differently than I am because the Brit Aldana will be like 50, 60 players. They will be using this room back here. And I already told Robert in the beginning of April that I would stream for him. And I'm really sorry, you guys, that I overlooked that. But even if I had remembered that, we probably would have ended up with the same result. But you just would have known that the finals was going to be on that date from the very beginning. So yeah. Boo, yeah, Fred, I'm so sorry, guys, if there's, like, big scheduling stuff that you have all got going on. I don't know what to do other than that. And I know that this can, like, especially in the summer, it's a big deal changing schedules. So on an individual basis, please text me if there's enough of you that it warrants trying to do something on a slightly different date. I don't know what to do. So, at this point, all I can say on this stream is it is what it is, and hopefully we can figure it out. So, okay, that out of the way. Something that is really important to talk about amongst the players is please use the group chats that I make for you guys to communicate everything. The reason I say that is 2 reasons. Don't feel bad about bothering me. I signed up for this. I'm doing this. This is like my thing. I'm excited to do it. I actually really like seeing the conversations unfold and seeing how people interact with each other. It also gives me like a good handle on like sportsmanship and stuff like that too. So that way, if there is like a scheduling issue or a tardiness issue or something like that, if I'm involved in that chat from the very beginning, then neither player has to feel bad for rule enforcement. Does that make sense? Right? If you're just chatting with that person directly and it's not in the group chat, and I don't know that somebody's running 30 minutes late or an hour behind, then it kind of puts it on the player to enforce the tardiness rule. You know, this is just one example, and it unfortunately came up like 3 times in this last session. So, you know, I don't want to put that on you guys, and I'd rather be the guy to just like make the call. You know what I mean? Like, is the player there? We're an hour in. Okay, it's a forfeit. That is what it is. You know what I mean? So, as far as the players that tried to accommodate or did accommodate or whatever it is, I really think that's cool of you on an individual basis, that you're very sporting people, and that's very cool. But like, let me handle what you know the rule set needs to handle. Does that make sense? Is anyone in the chat saying anything?
Josh is talking about saying make it 10 days instead of 14, which is what we're doing, correct?
Right, but I can't do that because, how do I say this? I know that there's a fair number of players still left in the tournaments that can only compete on the weekends, and if they only have one weekend to do it, they might not be able to. That was already communicated in the very first round of the draw, that the third losers round would be a 10-day round, but it was not communicated about the money qualifier round. So, like I said anyway, even if we could finish those rounds earlier, like, and say, for instance, hypothetically, do the finals on the 21st, there's a very good chance that it can't happen. So, like, due to other conflicts. So I can't just say, let's go ahead with that plan. Does that make sense? So, yeah. Yeah, on the communication stuff, yeah. And then, so I just want to reiterate the tardiness rule. The other thing is, when you're scheduling your match, it is a set scheduled time, as if it is a weekend regional tournament. So imagine at the Chuck Markoulis, if we had a match that was called, and an hour later, the player had not shown up. Clearly, that's a forfeit, right? So obviously, I changed the rule from the typical, you know, if the player's not there in 15 minutes in a regular tournament, then we forfeit them right away, right? But I get that you guys are driving and traveling, so there needs to be some flexibility, but you would think that a player who schedules a match time at a specific time would do so considering the fact that there might be traffic from where they're coming from, whether it's from Folsom or Stockton or Manteca or Rohnert Park. You know what I mean? It's like there might be traffic, so please keep that in mind. You know, wherever you're traveling to, don't turn the other player into the bad guy. You're the bad guy if you're late. So, yeah. I'm from Antioch, but I drive. I'm only available at Berkeley to be able to play on a 9-foot table. Should I still join? Text me directly or message me directly, like on Facebook or something like that. If you're talking about for next session, that was the last thing that I wanted to. That was it. That was the last thing that I wanted to cover with everybody. Next session, we are still going to probably mid or late June open entries for next session, so that maybe we can just start the very next week after the finals. You know, if we finish on the 19th of July, we can start the next session on the 26th, right? And I am very, very much leaning towards not drawing the Fargo caps until we draw, like, do the first draw, right? I feel like there's a lot of players that are not playing because they're waiting until they're going to be at the top 10 Fargo of their group. And based on the results of the sessions that we've done so far, it's very clear to me that it's not translating to the players, that the Fargo ranges and the handicaps and stuff like that, like the Fargo caps for each group, it's turning out to be very fair. Like, all these matches are, like, really interesting. I mean, we have a few blowouts here and again, obviously, because that's just part of the variance of playing pool. But, you know, one day you might just miss the key ball every time you get to the table. But anyway, my point is, I think it'd be much better if we just find all the people that are interested in playing, and all those people enter. We do the Fargo cap draws on the day of the first draw, and if we end up with players that are in a Fargo range that doesn't have enough players, then we just refund all those players their money, and unfortunately they'll just join us in the next round. Does that make sense? What do you guys think of that idea? Let me see it in the chat. I'm going to run through the draw now. Let's just move through this. First thing we'll do is the 414 and under group. So if you are undefeated at this point, you are waiting for the results of this round, because all the winner's side players will draw someone from the one-loss side for the money qualification round, for the qualifier round. So in the 414 group, that is Chris Schultz, Anthony Hernandez, Andrew Noseworthy, and Gabby Benuto. All those people undefeated so far. So, congrats to those people. You are waiting for the results of this round. In this bracket, the players remaining on the one-loss side are David Antley, Mila Mai, David Santos, Marino Ponder, Michael Littlefield, Lionel Molina, Shannon Askew, and Eric Stahl. That draw is right here. That's where it's going to happen. We're going to play. We're going to click the button once, and this will be the draw for the one-loss side of that bracket. Ready and go. Eric Stahl versus Marino Ponder. Is that like a rematch? Have they already played? No. No, they have not. Okay, I thought they had. Eric Stahl versus Marino Ponder. Lionel Molina versus Michael Littlefield. Oh, that's funny. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
David Antley versus David Santos. And then Shannon Askew versus Mila Mai. Okay? So good luck to everybody. I will send out those match texts before the end of the day. Let's go on to the 489 bracket. Same thing is true. I'm going to list the players that are waiting for the results of this round. Fred Mayo, you're waiting. Rance Nichols, waiting. Ryan Jackson, JD Nairn, Michael San Pedro, Carl Radula, Jerry Miller Jr., and Alex Jurenka, you're all waiting for the results of this round, okay? You will all draw someone from the one-loss side. That puts, I'm not going to read all these names, 16 players. All the players remaining in the 489 and under group. This is your draw right here. We're going to click it right now. Taylor Jones versus Chris Wood. Paul Howerman versus Rob Vallum. Scotty Hollander versus David Merwin. David Solis versus Jerry Miller Jr. Craig Kolbeck versus Dylan Gleason. Victor Krayatov versus Amarin Andrus. Patrick Beckman versus Adam Stickles. And Daniel Sanchez versus Ed Gill. Good luck, everybody. Now,
Wait.
what?
Amarone. Is that who Victor normally plays with?
I don't know. No. You're thinking, why am I spacing on his name?
Azeron.
Azeron, yeah.
Oh,
Okay, now, for the 544 and under, right? Is that what this is? Yeah, 564 and under bracket. I'm going to list the players that are undefeated at this point, and then I'm going to cover something that's happening on the one-loss side. Nick Lansdowne, Josh Holder, Fergal McElhenney, Dennis Mewey, Lito Laments, Jonathan Jackson, Eric Grubbs, and John Corvo. You are all undefeated at this point. You are waiting for the results of this round, so you will not be playing a match over the next 10 days. But I do need to cover the way that this bracket is looking on the one-loss side. You can see that there's a bye this round. That is because I had to manually draw in Lito Laments, and I didn't draw him into the place where there would be a natural bye for this many players. And that's because, in theory, you could say that if I didn't do it randomly, you could say that I colluded with Lito to let him decide if he wanted to play so he could see who he would play first, or something like that, which obviously I would never do, but I just can't leave any windows open, so to speak. So what that ends up doing, and I'm learning this whole time because I've never run tournaments before doing these ones, that is leaving us with a bye this round. And if you're not aware of this, of Bobby Jan's health condition right now, he will not be playing as well. So my initial response was to, by the way, if you're not in the 564 group, you don't have to be listening to this. My initial thought was to just put Bobby into that spot, because that would then leave everyone else with someone to play this round. But what that would do is it would actually create a bye in the money qualification round. Does that make sense? So the only way to avoid having a bye in the money qualification round is to actually have 2 buys this round. Okay? So when we do the draw here, one of those buys will be represented by Bobby's name, and then one will be represented by the word buy, if that makes sense for everybody. Okay? So this is what we're rolling with. I'm clicking the button right now. This is the draw. Billy Burgess versus George Loera. Derek Mejorado versus Kenny Boblik. Bryant Ook versus Bruce Beavers. Michael Salmon versus Chris Sanchez. Daniel Kelly versus Brian Hart. Brandon Gillum versus Tony Triano. Dave Richardson, you have a bye. Travis Reynoso, you have a bye. That's karma. That's karma for Travis for being such a good sport in the last round. Okay. So, yeah, DR, you have a bye, and Travis, you have a bye. Everyone else, you will get your match texts shortly. But actually, before the end of the day. And that's it. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the chat. Is there an update on Bobby by chance? How do I say this? He's not recovering yet. As far as I know, the doctors have made some headway in working through whatever condition it is that they're dealing with, but they're not seeing much improvement. So, that's the best that I know of, and that's really just through the grapevine, so I don't know for sure. If you're close with Bobby, or you know anyone that is close with him, find a way to reach out to his family online. If you want more information, you can, I believe, you can go see him at UC Davis. I think that they're allowing visitors in.
That was my understanding.
Yeah, Corey Buchanan actually went to go see him as well. So if you have a way of getting in touch with Corey and you have questions, he might be able to help you better than I can. We don't know what the situation is yet, JC, so I don't know. How is Jerry Jr. on both sides? Thank you. Let me check that out. It's probably just a clerical error. And I probably just need to swap out one name. It probably represents a different name. Jerry beat Camila. So we have... Do we have Camila on the one-loss side here? That's Camila. Thank you. Who was that? JD Nairn, thank you. The one-loss side, Jerry Miller Jr., is Camila. It's just a digital pool thing, pulled the wrong name over. Thank you. So whoever Jerry Miller drew right here. David Solis will be playing Camila Morton. Yeah, Camila Morton. Thank you for that. Anything else? I think we got it. Thank you, everybody. Like I said, you'll get text messages in the next couple hours. Thank you. Talk to you soon.